All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, it looks like your favorite Kotaku urinalist is at it again. And this really should not be too shocking because at the end of the day, whenever somebody like Alyssa Mercante writes an article, it's very clear she cannot talk from an objective standpoint and she can't talk about video games, right? She's not in this to talk about video games. Video games is not on the forefront of her mind. What's on the forefront of her mind is how she can virtue signal for the day. What's on the forefront of her mind is how she can be a victim for the day. What's on the forefront is, hey, how can I make this about me, even though I'm supposed to be writing game guides and I'm supposed to be writing game reviews? How can I circumvent that requirement and make this all about me? Because at the end of the day, I'm a narcissist and I need to make everything about me. Well, we have a comment here from Vera Dark over on Twitter showcasing exactly what happens when someone like Alyssa Mercante gets their hands on a game like Shadows of Erdtree from Elden Ring. It becomes this completely narcissistic meltdown of epic proportions. Now, when I saw this post here, I'm glad that people like Vera Dark screenshot this stuff so that I don't actually have to go to Kotaku to give them the click, because that's really what this is about, right? Alyssa Mercante is doing this stuff because she's hoping people clicks on her articles, because she has convinced upper management that the way that she can remain relevant over at Kotaku is by basically being an internet psychopath and getting people to hate watch everything that she does. It's a bold strategy. Definitely worked out for her in the beginning. Don't know if it's going to work out for her in the end, but I guess time will tell. It says Alyssa Mercante reviewed Shadow of the Erdtree. Simply writing a review? Well, no. Let's put commentary in there that has nothing to do with the game and establishes that she is always the victim. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. She claims she's the victim of near endless harassment campaign when she's on social media threatening to beat up people for not agreeing with her. It's never, hey, I said stupid controversial things people disagree with, now I'm facing backlash. It's always people are being sexist and homophobic. So again, ladies and gentlemen, apparently Alyssa Mercante decided that it was in her best interest to review a game like Elden Ring Shadows of Erdtree, which is the upcoming DLC that I myself am super excited to play, and I'm thinking about streaming it because you guys already know I say this all the time in so many videos. I'm a major Souls-like fan. I've played pretty much every single one of them, except for that crab game that I somehow missed that was a Souls-like game, but I've played every single one of them for the most part, and I'm an avid fan of this particular genre or subgenre of video games. So when I see people like Alyssa Mercante who genuinely are not into this stuff, and she even admits this a little bit in this post that we're about to read, I see this and I'm like, why are you even bothering to do this? Like, you very clearly are only using the name Shadows of Erdtree to try to garner any sort of, I guess, extra click-worthy clout, because you know that you're not going to talk about the game. You're going to talk about fucking harassment and sexism and all this other nonsense. So let's get into what she said to give you a better idea. It says, hours into playing Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree, the massive singular expansion for From Software's award-winning 2022 action RPG, I realize it's paralleling my life. Bro, how can... I'm sorry. I was trying not to laugh, but I lost it. How can you look at Elden Ring and say that it's paralleling your life? You have to be an ultra narcissist for you to see yourself and your own personal psychotic life in Elden Ring. I mean, that is just reaching of epic proportions. But I mean, listen, this is Alyssa Mercante we're talking about, right? Her and Johnny Boy and all these other people, they reach for a living. That's how it goes. Until Elden Ring, I avoided Souls-likes. Well, I wish that you still avoided them. Their punishing difficulty and rigid boundaries frustrated me immensely. Yeah, that's because you like things being easy in life. What can I say? I hit a wall in Dark Souls Remastered and gave up. Barely touched Bloodborne and avoided Psychodo like it was a poison swamp. In the real world, I have mostly avoided the ire of homophobes and misogynists in the games industry, writing an article that temporarily shakes them up before fading into relative obscurity once Reddit refreshes. But now I'm willingly subjecting myself to arduous adventure, running headfirst into a Bavaria wall just to shake it off, back up, and run into it again. Outside of the lands between and the Shadow Realm, I have spent nearly 4 months as the subject of a near-endless harassment campaign. It feels at times like logging on for the day of work is akin to walking through a boss door over and over again. My dude, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think that we are living in separate realities, if you know what I mean. There is no way that this person is unable to self-reflect in any capacity, that they cannot see the hand that they played in their own supposed harassment for the last 4 months. God knows she hasn't been getting harassed for the last 4 months. What it is that she's trying to be an internet provocateur, and she sucks at it. And then on top of that, she's trying to claim harassment after people fight her back for her being an internet provocateur. That's what it is. You want to be a provocateur. And then when you do so, you want to complain about the effects of being said thing. That's not how this works. Either you're going to be able to deal with the fact that people are going to have opinions about how retarded you are, or you're just going to have to stop talking on the internet, because this is how the internet works. This is how it's always worked, and it's never going to change. So I'm glad that she admitted that she can't get good, obviously, with the Souls-like games. And the only reason she's talking about a game that she can't get good in, because I doubt that she got good in any of them, she's talking about it because she's trying to parallel it to homophobia, and misogyny. I mean, you gotta be unbelievably reaching here. But again, it's just something she does. And then it says, before I even make that connection between my real world, and again, keyword, my real world, right? She's not actually living in the real world. She's living in what she perceives to be the real world, her own personal reality, but that's neither here nor there. And from Software's game world, I subconsciously attack Shadow of the Erdtree with dodge determination, as if besting a boss would bleed into my everyday and imbue me with the higher tier of self-confidence, much like how it feels to receive near endless hate comments from anonymous accounts or angry middle-aged men. I face Shadow of the Erdtree entirely alone. No multiplayer summons would work for me in early access, a feature I relied on in the base game. So I faced it solo in almost 20 hours, came out, as Renala says, born anew. Well, I'm glad that you admit that you use the help, you know, when you're playing Elden Ring, because God knows you're not going to be able to beat the bosses on your own. That's number one. I do find it hilarious that she constantly wants to bring up anonymous counts and angry middle-aged men, as if it's not women also going after her, as if it's not people who have anonymous accounts on her particular side going after people like myself. I get attacked by 10 to 20 anime profile picture people on Twitter a day, like at least minimum. So I can only imagine that I find it hilarious that you are just incapable of being able to self-reflect like that and realize that the same thing that you're complaining about is exactly what you do and your particular side does. I'm not trying to say which side is innocent, but what I am trying to say is that you are constantly provocating, like you are trying to provoke people. That's what it is. You're trying to provoke people and then complaining about what happens after you provoke people. That's not how any of this works. If you're going to openly attack people, you need to be able to take the heat. And you love to say that you can take the heat, but every time you write articles like this, it shows you that you actually can't. You complain about it all the time, and you constantly talking about it and trying to talk about it from a victim standpoint shows that you're not actually owning it. You're not actually being stunning and brave. You're not standing there and being like, yep, I said this. This is what I'm going to deal with. No. You're trying to say that everything that's happening to you is unwarranted and you didn't partake in any of it. You didn't cause any of it. That's not actually being stunning and brave. That's not standing by what you say. That's completely giving it up and being able to say, oh, well, woe is me. You know, I should not be dealing with this. I should be being left alone. I'm being harassed right now. No, it's your fault. It's always been your fault since the beginning. Chris Kindred was the one that started Gamergate 2.0. You decided with your friends to run defense for Sweet Baby Inc., and you chose to absolve all the information. You omitted all the information that would have made Sweet Baby Inc. look terrible in the public eye. And when people caught that about you, that's when all of this started, and that's where it's at right now. It's because people caught on to you that you decided to try to make a victim narrative out of all of it. But guess what? You don't have the power anymore. You don't have the ability to control the conversation. You lost it, and you need to figure out a way to either get it back or live with the fact that you lost it, because God knows you're not going to get it back. That's just the truth. You're not getting it back. It is what it is. Twitter is a much more free place, and nobody gives a fuck about your private discords that nobody has access to, so you guys can collaborate and do your hit pieces on. Yeah, nobody cares. You guys wanted the public platform of Twitter because then it could convince everyone else that somehow you were the normal ones. Well, guess what? You lost that. It's gone, and it's not coming back. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.